Board of Education meeting to order. May I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Bryan?
Present.
Marissa Fox?
Present.
Ryan Daniel? Mark Hall?
Present.
Lisa Powell?
Present. Let's stand for the pledge.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What are we doing?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So good.
We're going to the manufacturing class for their annual report.
You think we'll all fit?
That's mean.
Nancy, come on now. Act professional.
No, Lisa.
Like to try that.
Am I not bad? Seriously.
Wait on you guys.
You know, I got to keep it interesting.
I hope that's not the end.
I feel it.
Oh, compared to what?
You know that.
Who's going to hire me? That was cut iron. 32 years?
Somebody should.
Wouldn't that be nice? Me too. I started working with Dusty the other day. Right. How'd that go?
They're blaming on that talk for having a meeting with me.
Oh. I think he's
You're my out.
I think he's still going to work there to come over after.
Oh, no, it's
So we had a board meeting.
Out of what?
working with concession stand.
You have a board meeting.
That's what I tried.
That's mandatory. At least that's state law. Hi, Jay. Casey, as always. What, is that you? I saw you earlier. Board meeting.
Hey, how you doing?
Is this it? Sorry, guys.
You want one?
It's only one team set up, right?
Oh, yeah, here you I didn't know. Sorry. Okay, guys, I guess this is it, so I'll turn it over to the kids.
All right, thank you guys for coming. My name is Nick Marinescu. I'm class CEO. This is Joey Stubbs. He's also a class CEO. This is pretty much the whole class right here. A few people that were in charge was Tyler. He was also an accountant. Lauren Flasca, she was in charge of our embroidery. And then everybody else just filled in wherever they could and wherever they could to help out. We're going to go over the class makeup really quick. Mostly for this year that we had a lot of freshmen. That's good and bad. A lot of people coming into the class, starting to learn what the class is all about. But then the negative side of that is no one really knows what they're doing. So the first few months they were just learning how to do everything. So that was a negative. And then we had a few people that were in the class before, so that was good. But mostly just a lot of new members, and that was kind of a negative. Our beginning balance, as you can see, was $7,675.95. We're going to go through the months. Every month we're going to say how much we made, how many expenses. Beginning month we always spend a lot just trying to get new shirts, ink, supplies. So we never really make any money first month, maybe one or two jobs, but mostly just trying to get into the game and whatever we need we buy. October, pretty good month. We're starting to get new jobs. Expenses are still there. Every month has expenses, but a few jobs. Student council we're starting to get. Mrs. Howe, Dave Marcota. So I mean, there's always jobs. Everybody comes back every year, so there's always jobs there. November again, we're starting to make more money. Things are picking up. Holidays coming around. Expenses are still up there. A few big jobs. Home base, that's when we did that. So That's about it. December, Christmas time, people are starting to get presents for family members, so everybody's looking for something. Home base, when we did that, that was a big job that really helped out in December. Expensive, still low. January, same thing. After the holidays, no one really wants to buy anything because they spent all their money, so kind of slow, but just breaking even almost.
Do you show profit? So your total income is your profit?
Right. So total income is what we made, and then total expenses of what we spent.
Okay.
February made $1,400, spent so we pretty much broke even there. March, nothing really big in March. David Grant's job was a pretty big job, but made $2,100, spent $1,600, so not a bad month. April seems kind of big, but that we didn't do all those jobs in April. That's when some people paid us from a job we did in October, November, so that's why it looks like we did a lot. And we did do a lot, but we really didn't spend that much in April, so it was a good month. All right, in the red is what we made, and then in the blue is expenses. So as you can see, beginning of the month, in September when we first started, we hardly made any money, a lot of expenses. And then right now in April, low expenses, high income. So it kind of waves around through the years, but it does change around. I'll take it over to you.
These are the unpaid and unrecorded that people haven't paid for us, or these are the people that have paid and it just hasn't been recorded on the actual records yet. We have a gross income of about $16,321, and that was for the year-end total. And the profit we only made was $4,159. Our estimated income is about our profit estimated income is about $5,900.
You're not too off. That's pretty good.
Well, that's by the end of the year. That's what we're planning to make. Yeah.
Hey, you got a profit.
Exactly. That's all.
Yeah.
Is there a deadline for people have to pay by?
By the end of the year. That's like we said. If students don't pay that are in there, they hold a report card, diploma. So they're by the end. Last week or two, we started really getting on them to pay them by the end of the year.
So how do you do that? Like, what do you do?
Contacting them. If not, then we either go to the superintendent if we can't get a hold of them, and just.
So are they all students? What if they're non-students?
No, some of them are parents, teachers. We just try to keep getting a hold of them, and if it doesn't go from there, then it's sort of we can't do anything about it. Then we hand it on to Mr. Clark or
Big dog.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't call the sheriff. They didn't pay yet.
Yeah.
You made one payment.
These are the job comparisons we've had since the beginning of this class started. And about this year, we have an estimated of 170 jobs.
That's great. That's good.
That's good.
And I know, like, every year I've been sitting here since probably 2004. And every year we always say, why don't you put something in the roundup? Because honest to God, as a parent and as a community member, I would love to know what you have for sale. Because I always, go wherever. And I never really get to come here during school hours to see what you guys have.
Right. And we did look into that, but then we saw how much it was and if it was going to pay off. And I mean, we took all that into consideration. And just
And
never
maybe
really
you
got
need to
onto
start
it.
out scaling it with like maybe just 5 items.
Right.
Don't go like full vast like what you have hanging there. Just do like 3 to 5 items.
Right.
This is the profit comparison since we've had since 03 and 04. And estimated by the end of the year, we said we think we'll have about $5,900.
That's good.
That's great. That's good.
This is our profit over 10 years from 2004 to 2014.
You guys are right in line.
We have class positives, we have competitive prices, we always try to compete and match other people's prices. We did make a profit this year, so that's another positive. We don't charge tax, which is another positive. We have more to offer each year, like new items. This year we had an embroidery machine, and we can embroider shirts and hats and all that. And we always guarantee customer satisfaction. We have our class negatives. We didn't get a lot of our own school business, like for track and some other stuff. They don't always come to us. In our class makeup, we had a lot of freshmen, which isn't being mean to the freshmen, but they had to learn and get into the game and learn how to do everything. Marketing, we need to do a better job of marketing and getting out there. And shipping costs kill us a lot with, you know.
How many freshmen are going to come back next year?
That was
It's like
enthusiastic.
Yeah, really. It's kind of cyclical.
Everybody speak on the warrants.
We'd like to say a special thank you to all our loyal customers who have supported us year after year, like Miss Yeager with Drama Club, Miss Howell with Academic Challenge, the junior class, student council, the teachers.
What was your biggest selling thing this year? What was your, have a hot item?
Not a hot item. I would say the biggest thing that brought a lot of attention to us was that embroidery machine. We got a lot of customers from that. Everyone was, not a lot of people know about it yet, but eventually within the next few years, it should be a very popular item because it was a popular item this year. So that's something I picked up this year.
Gotta use the roundup. Seriously.
We're gonna try.
I didn't even know
Like
you had
something
it.
with wire or something, make up your own little thing.
Have you guys thought at all of using like a link off of our school's webpage to do some advertising and create a webpage of your own?
We started our own website. We never really thought about that, having a link on the school's webpage.
Put a link on the school's website to that and have some pictures of some of the items that you have and
Good
some of the
point.
things you can do. So that should be easy enough to do, I would think.
Yeah.
You guys should feature
Can you advertise on
items.
your sign out front? Every now and then if they have a sale and stuff?
Absolutely.
You guys should feature items that you can make profit on, a high profit that you're good at. Those are the things you put in Roundup. Not something you have to reinvent, something you've already figured out how to do, something you maybe stock a shirt, something that you don't have to order, that you don't have freight charges on. That's the stuff that should go in there.
Don't have a wide range. Narrow your choices.
Right.
We have future goals, always an improved profit margin. We always want to make more money. We want to get more of our own school business, like I said. We want to reduce the shipping costs because that becomes very high. We want to start to offer employee incentives. We want to increase our marketing and advertising and want to finish our catalog. We want to finish our website. And we're talking about purchasing a sublimation machine.
What is that?
It's like a printer, and it'll print out like the picture that you want, and you can, using heat, you can press it onto like a phone case or a mug or a hat or a t-shirt or anything you'd like.
Wow. Good job.
That's our presentation. If anybody has any questions.
Good job, guys.
Do you guys go to the coaches and ask them, like when
We-
they're getting ready to, because you say you don't get the school.
We did. Like some things that we haven't got was PTO. We went up to them, talked about them. Something in the past didn't fall through, so maybe we don't know what happened there. But probably next year we're probably going to get PTO, track. So there's some things that we can do and can't do. Like we're restricted on, say they want white. We don't do white ink, so that's why we're leaning toward the sublimation. We can put the white ink on the transfer paper and then put it on the track uniform. So that's why we're leaning toward a sublimation machine so we can get more business in track or all of the school sports.
So could you do uniforms?
We probably could once we get our sublimation machine. That's why we're leaning toward that.
Because like a track uniform is something relatively simplistic that you guys
Right, that
can
someone
do.
need, yeah.
Like for football, it's a little bit different.
Right, not just a regular track uniform,
Yeah,
volleyball.
that volleyball, basketball, even like their shooting shirts, whatever, something like that.
We can do those now with Vine.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's still, they're not coming to us. And then we have that marketing that's also in there.
Right.
Any other questions? These guys did a good job. It was a little bit of a challenge with all the freshmen this year. Again, that was a little bit not anything negative towards them. It's just they're young and they're learning, and so that threw us for a little curve. But overall, they did a good job. Very diverse group. But yeah, it was a pretty good year. Our embroidery machine picked up for some areas that we fell short on. We do need to do a little bit better marketing and some things like that, but it was a good year. So please ask them any other questions you have you can think of, but our profit was up pretty good. Pretty good this year.
what was the worst thing? Like, what was the hardest thing?
Worst thing?
Mm-hmm.
We never really had any major mess-ups. Last year we had a whole bunch of mess-ups, so quality control really improved throughout the year. Hardest thing that we had to adjust to was the high number of freshmen. Not saying that they're bad, because they're going to come back next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
And next year they should know what they're doing, and then increase everything, profit and everything.
So what are your strategies for marketing? Like, how do you think you could, say I'm new to the community, and I didn't even know this existed in the school, because it is rare.
Right.
You know, most schools don't have this. You're very fortunate. So what would you do as a marketing strategy to make me aware of what you have?
What we're thinking next year is, like you said, the roundup. That's something that we have to pay for. So we pay for it, but hopefully we'll get a lot more business out of it. Maybe flyers, sending them in, because the elementary school, they don't know about us, the parents don't know about us. So maybe sending flyers home with elementary school kids. Maybe a sign up front.
Passing out at football, basketball, volleyball games?
Anything like that, yeah.
I think I can get you a good deal on Roundup advertising.
I'm thinking too, with it being school.
Right, because being part of the school figure.
Yeah,
I'm sure that would happen.
Almost free.
seriously, yeah, that's something that you really need to look into, because that's a huge vehicle
Right.
for you to get
And
your
same
name out there.
with the little kids too, that will save on
And that goes
on
postage,
to
there's no postage.
Right.
Because you're going to have grandma and grandpa who really get the roundup and read it, they're going to want to
Right.
order something.
But the thing is, being part of the school, we were thinking there should be some sort of discount there, and
There is.
Yeah, the Roundup, we definitely thought about it. We thought about it 4 years ago, and when we priced it back then, it was outrageous, and they didn't want to cut us a deal, so we said, forget it. But if we can get a good discount, we know people in the right place.
Free shirt. Hey, you know what? You know, you got to barter a little bit.
With the amount of work that you had, were you pressured for time? Were you under the gun to
oh
get to the
yeah,
house?
always.
Yeah, that's when I get a little cranky.
Especially toward the year, toward the end of the year, beginning of the year is hectic, home base. I mean, printing out 100, 200 plus shirts just for middle school home base. I mean, so beginning of the year is pretty hectic, end of the year is hectic, trying to wrap everything up. But there's some times where we don't have time to print shirts, both periods.
What do you do then if you get a big inflow of business?
We try having kids come in study hall after school, knowing everyone's busy with track, extracurricular activities. But mostly study hall, some kids come in, chip in when they can. Mr. Clark makes it mandatory for everybody to bring in a job. So if someone comes in during study hall 4 or 5 times, that counts as a job for them. So that's kind of an incentive coming into study hall.
If one thing maybe to use for your marketing is a line sheet, there was one single page that showed 4 items. And then when those guys go out to look to sell a job, they'll say, here's what we have. And it makes that decision very easy, and you can feature what you want, because when these guys go out and sell, they don't know what to sell. So you're getting a really wide, broad spectrum of products, which is okay, but then you've got to learn about each one, you've got to source each one, you've got to order each one. It costs you $40 to get a box of shirts here. Where if you narrow that focus and make it easy for people to buy,
3, 4 things, and then have
And even if you focus on the hoodie and a t-shirt, like Mark said, and just go to Fairway Ford and say, hey, look, you know, you're going to have a customer appreciation. We can do 50 shirts for
here they are.
$5 or
Here's how much it
$8.
costs.
Yeah.
Here's a price for 10. Here's a price for 25. There's a price for 50.
That's
There's the colors.
That's what we were thinking. Probably a month or 2 ago, we were thinking about planning a field trip. Probably 3, 4 of us, me, Joey, and a few other kids, and making a flyer of what we have and going to different businesses. But we were pressed for time. We've been so busy. That's probably going to be something that Joey should look into for next year. Going on field trip, going to local businesses, restaurants.
Too bad we couldn't account for your community service, too.
Right.
I remember, you know, Tyler raised that money for the tunnel, and and honestly, you'd be surprised the businesses that'll buy from you. If you have, like Mark said, a flyer, and you go there and they see you, it's like, wow, you know, I didn't realize that school did that. Get your name out there.
The line sheets like Marketing 101. I mean, every business, every sales rep has this is what we do. And it makes it simple, because these guys don't want to sell. They don't know how.
Yeah. It's scary going out there.
Give them a tool that
To
says,
help them out.
this is what we sell. And, okay, I'll take this. And that's easy. And that's what you already determined that's what you want to sell.
Right.
And you can make money on.
You ready for us to shut up now?
You can have all the questions you want.
I'm done.
Any other questions for for any of these other guys. We've got a
Yeah, really.
big group of people over here. You can ask
Would you guys be afraid that I
You can ask the group, or you can ask a specific person.
Try to offer, to try to get jobs? Would you guys be afraid to do that? Is that scary? Is that fun, you think? What do you think?
Good.
You're good? Oh my God, Alex, that's funny.
They're never this quiet, I guarantee you
Oh, I
that.
can only imagine. Well, good job, guys.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you, Strike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. If you're going to do shirts for an organization or something, is there like a certain amount of shirts that you get a better price?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely, yes.
Like, are they lots of 25, are they 50, or, you know?
For someone, it could be whatever they want.
Yeah, I'm talking about, say, if an organization was going to buy 50 shirts.
Right. There would be a deal cut there, lower more shirts. That's kind of how it goes hand in hand. The more shirts, the cheaper the price.
Yeah.
So
I was
That should be
wondering
on the
if
sheet,
there
like
are increments of like...
your quantities.
just a rough guess. I mean, no, it's not like 50 above. There you get a deal. 20. It's just
And then how does it work size-wise? What do you usually offer?
size-wise, we could go up to a 5X in size, but
I know, but like if you're all of a sudden you have to, they want a small and you have to have one small and the rest are all extra larges. I mean, you have to order so many smalls to get the one. Do they come in?
we could order one or we could order 100.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's just whatever we want. Yep.
Did you guys ever think about doing a store? I know my husband teaches at Fitch, and he does marketing, and they opened up a store. I mean, just open it at lunchtime and have the students come in, and it's insane.
A store
Like just
Have some samples out
like
there.
this, like say there was a little room here, and you just made it like a little store to sell what you had, and just open it up to just the students and sell, and like make a bunch of mugs and hats and stuff like that, and just sell it to the kids.
That's a good idea, but this pretty much is our store, if you think about it. So, I mean, kids can come in whenever they want, first period through 8th period. So that's a good idea,
Okay.
but we're always open.
Okay. That's good to know. Good answer.
And they display stuff out here.
Yeah. All this stuff was out in the
That's
hallway
true, yeah,
all year
okay.
long.
So you guys really do need to get a flyer for the elementary parents, because especially the new parents coming in, they're new to the school, they want to get sweatshirts for their kids that aren't in sports and stuff yet, and those new parents would, buy hoodies or...
Sending flyers home with kids.
Especially the younger ones who don't know about you guys, who aren't down here,
Having something open with those
Isn't it
elementary
afraid to walk down?
things we have at our parents to hear. The elementary schools always do.
They should be afraid.
Good work on that, Joe.
I know.
You did a
Things
lot of
like,
work.
I did all of this for so many years. I'm out of here, buddy.
You're not coming back now?
I'm seeing your
I know, but you're not coming through.
He can. Make sure Joey's in line. That's about it.
He's not allowed to go away to college. I already told him that.
Yes, I will miss Nick. He's been with me for 4 years. One of the few, him and Jeffrey Clegg, who graduated last year. One of the few who have been with me for 4 years, so we'll definitely miss Nick. He did a great job.
Was it just coincidence that there's no juniors? They just didn't
It
come
was just,
out?
yeah,
or just
it varies every year.
Okay.
Yeah, it just happened to be this year. I don't know. But it does get, with the scheduling, it's tough. For upperclassmen, it is tough. Their electives get filled up so quickly, and now we're offering more post-secondary. So it is tougher for upperclassmen to get in here, just scheduling-wise. Okay, thank you.
Great job. You did a great job.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Okay, thanks, guys. Be careful. Going home. Yes, sir. How loud out?
Hey. He's staring you down. Good job. Thanks. I don't want to have oh my God. That was awesome. I was waiting for it.
They're gone.
They're all new. They're not ready to make it.
Let's walk out this way and see what they have.
We're not going to.
I like the stitching.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah, they need to.
All right, thanks for coming.
I like the shirts.
You can.
It's good stuff. See you tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah.
But they would buy that, I like
But
that.
depending on what kind of deal they can get on it by the time you. I know some other shirts have gone for a little blue devil.
No, I'm saying you buy.
Well, maybe I was going to do that. I'm like, oh, let's see about that.
I fell for that one. I fell for it.
Get with the program.
Hey, Rich, you want to take your jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it ready?
Yeah.
It's serious.
Yeah. I'm not.
Our special week.
Were you able to do anything?
I don't know.
Get them
I
all.
like the pen.
That is awesome.
Well, I'm going to take you.
I bet you I could have got orders from my school.
See? Why didn't you?
Well, I didn't
What would they need to get a flyer? See what you have, because honestly,
I would have ordered shirts from my group.
Yeah, seriously, I should cheer.
I mean, it's nice.
They sold a little blue devil.
Where'd you get that pen?
that's what they gave me.
Oh.
Thank you. Did they give you one when you walked in?
Yeah, mine's
Mine's all
white.
different. Mine's like green.
See you, Greg.
Oh, I like mine because it's like, yeah, I like the wooden ones.
Ours, yeah, we
Got a wooden.
from that meeting.
Maybe that was the idea they gave us.
But I have to
They
go down
gave us
that
the
road
woods.
because I live down that road.
It was very good.
You live on a tree line? Don't lose that now. It seems to happen when you're
Come on, Peter.
Every day I come home. I think you came home again.
You two are probably the meanest looking people in this whole store.
What store?
Walmart. I hate it. I ran into this. I'm like, I hate this. She's like, I hate
I like
Walmart.
anywhere that's not in the city. I envy this.
You like Walmart?
You don't really screw
Are we hiring? Can we hire
We
more?
have more. We have more fun.
She used to work at Toys R Us when I worked out.
Dave was going to try that.
And have her.
Take this off. I'll try it. Up to now, it's really good. Where are the patches? This one? Oh. Not able to. Not
I
able
mean, we
to.
can park at my
But
house.
legally, I can't wear it. Oh. Otherwise, I get pick up for fraud. Well, whatever this was. Impersonation. You guys wait on me?
Yeah, come on.
Always. Again.
If you read all of this stuff, I'll
But
kill
actually
you.
put the air on in your building.
Still. Okay.
Yada, yada, yada.
Pull myself together here. All right. We need to get refocused.
Roll.
Okay. Treasurer's recommendations. It is recommended that the minutes of the April 10 regular meeting of the West Reserve Board of Education be approved as mailed to each member in advance of the meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that the April 2014 financial reports be approved, listing of bills be approved as mailed to each member in advance of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that the application for the Special Education IDEA grant be submitted for 2014-15. These funds are made available to help meet the needs of handicapped children. Input as to how these funds should be used is encouraged and will be accepted from the general public. Written comments should be addressed to Jeffrey Zatchok, Superintendent, West Reserve Local School District. All ideas will be considered and should be received as soon as possible.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes. It is recommended that the treasurer prepare a request for an amended certificate of revenue from the county auditor for 2013-14 fiscal year to reflect the actual revenue received in all funds.
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
For the purpose of finalizing year-end budget items, it is recommended that a special meeting of the Board of Education be held on, we have to pick a date for that.
It would be the last week of June.
Or we can just do one.
That's not good. Doesn't
When do we have to
necessarily
have it by
to be-
June what?
Well, it's easier toward the end of
Easier
June.
towards the end, I'll have.
I'm on vacation until the
Doesn't necessarily have to be a Thursday. if that's-
What's the last Thursday?
The last Thursday is the 26th.
We have like maybe the
Could we have-
24th or 25th, when will you be home?
I'm home the 21st, so yeah, okay.
Could we do it like a Tuesday instead?
Yeah.
Mark, he doesn't work.
Mark's-
Well, we're leaving I'm not sure when we're leaving. That's the problem.
Do I do it on Monday, or
Would-
you don't know?
What date, you don't know what date you're leaving?
No, I don't. I'm not sure, but that's okay.
Would it be better if
I
we
think,
said-
I think we'll be,
Would it be better for you if we were earlier in the week? And then, I mean,
I don't
Be out
think-
of town like that.
or does it not matter?
I don't think it's going to matter as far as that goes. Pick it and
The Tuesday and
Tuesday, is
the
that
24th?
Tuesday the 24th?
are you moving it to a Tuesday? Like, I'll remember that.
I'll end up
I'll
texting
be
you.
at Ben's.
Can we do it early at Ben's?
Yeah.
So at 7?
6? What did you say?
Go early, because
Is early.
If you can go early, might go.
6 o'clock.
2:35?
Yeah, I could be here till 3.
your breakfast meeting.
Earlier the better.
Dinner
I don't care.
I'm
Yeah, whatever,
the earliest
I could
you
do,
guys
I could
go.
do
Can you 5? You want to do 5?
5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now, is that
Somewhere?
going to be our,
Are we putting two meetings together?
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, we
Are
should
we
do
gonna-
both together.
And eliminate the
And eliminate the
second
second
Thursday.
Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
So just, this is our June meeting and that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should be fine doing that. Yeah, that's what we said. Tuesday.
So that would be June 24th, 5 p.m. Here?
5 PM here.
They need a motion.
I'll motion.
Second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that Jacob Zatchok be hired as an assistant varsity football coach for 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Do I do the attendance first? Superintendent's recommendations. It is recommended that the senior class of 2014 be approved for graduation June 8, 2014, contingent upon having met all of the minimum requirements of the state of Ohio and the Western Reserve Board of Education.
Please read through them, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, can you, do you mind?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that the following resolution authorizing 2014-15 membership in the Ohio High School Athletic Association be approved.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Mr. Halls?
Who? Oh, me?
You.
Oh, I thought you said house. I thought you- Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
She said Mr.
Did I throw a draw?
It is recommended that the following list of certified employee contracts be approved for 2014-15 school year as per the effective salary schedules. You see one-year contracts, salary notices, extended service supplemental contracts, salary notice administration, and salary notice nurse supervisor. I'm not going to read all those.
You're not?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yep.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Opposed?
It is recommended that the board recognize the following students who were inducted into the National Honor Society on April 10th, 2014. The list is in front of you.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that the report from the district's Food Services Department be approved, certifying that the district is in compliance with Senate Bill 210 pertaining to the guidelines for food offerings and portion size offered to students during the school day.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that the retirement resignation from Ann Griffiths be accepted regretfully, effective at the end of 2013-14 school year. Ann has been with the Western Reserve School District for the past 33 years.
What did she do?
Oh.
Teacher, they ran a...
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that the retirement resignation from Martha Gebra be accepted regretfully, effective at the end of 2013-14 school year. Martha has been a cook in the West Reserve School District for the past 18 years.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes. It is recommended that the contract of Deborah Kelly be suspended at the conclusion of 2013-14 school year due to a declining enrollment in grade 5. She will be placed on a reduction in force list as per the negotiated contract with Tower.
What this is she was brought in last year. She was a tutor last year, and the numbers in 5th grade, yeah. And so with those numbers in 5th grade, we brought in Debbie for that year, knowing that it might only be for 1 year. Those 5th graders then go to 6th grade. It's a little bit easier to move them around, to take those numbers. So it really isn't, the declining enrollment is from our 5th graders this year to what is our 4th grade class right now that will be 5th grade.
That's always
The
been a
suspended-
big group. They had a third teacher follow them all the way
Yeah,
up.
exactly. And it's not that anything wrong. She does a great job, actually. And we hope to be able to bring her back in some capacity. And being on the RIF list is not that she's not renewed. She's not been terminated or fired. She's just kind of laid off. And with her credentials being K-12 intervention specialist, which is special ed, and the elementary or middle school grades, hopefully we'll be able to bring her back even as soon as next year.
So moved. Do we need a motion?
Oh, I'll second it.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
It is recommended that Andrew Whitmer be hired as an assistant varsity football coach for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that Edward Anthony be hired as an assistant varsity football coach for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that Timothy Hall be hired as a junior high football coach for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that Christine Hughes be hired as the assistant varsity volleyball coach for 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes. It is recommended that Tammy Matulik be hired as the 8th grade volleyball coach for 2014-15 school year, pending on the number of participants.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
It is recommended that Gary Smith be approved as an unpaid volunteer assistant football coach for 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that Sean Gardner be approved as an unpaid volunteer assistant junior high football coach for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that Sherry Pater be approved as an unpaid volunteer cross-country coach for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second it.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that Angela Knopf be approved as an unpaid volunteer cross-country coach for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
I should have mentioned at the beginning of that, but those two both were volunteers last year. It's cross-country. We had 20 or so kids with
It's amazing.
cross-country.
That's a lot of them.
Yeah, they did good.
So,
How many coaches does cross-country get for paid? Just one?
one position.
No matter how many sign-ups, I mean,
Well, I mean, it would be something we would monitor if it was, but
Yeah, if it's
typically,
consistent.
yeah, and last year, I think there was a overly large number of girls and not as many boys, so when it came to meets, you know, it was, they all go together. But the two girls, they do a nice job with volunteers.
Addendum.
Strike.
Okay, we're now on the addendum.
Okay.
Treasurer's recommendations. It is recommended that the service agreement with Healthcare Process Consulting be renewed for a term of 3 years, commencing on July 1, 2014, ending on June 30, 2017, for an annual fee of $4,500.
What is that?
They help us get our Medicaid reimbursement.
Okay.
The fee seems high, but this year they've already got $12,000 for us, and they're anticipating $16,000 to $18,000 next year.
So it's
Oh,
worth
So
it.
it's definitely worth it.
All right. So moved.
So they do the
And they
negotiations for you, or what do
they
they
do
do?
everything. They handle. They work with Kathy Shook
Oh,
and
okay.
the lot of special ed. This has been with the school for a while. I just never found a resolution for it, and I thought you guys should vote on it. So
It's good.
it's been happening, I guess is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
It's been happening for years.
All right. So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Superintendent's recommendations. It is recommended that the board approve the cancellation of the waiver day that had been scheduled for March 31 in order to make up the one excessive calamity day that the district used in 2013-14 school year.
We talked about
I
this.
thought we voted on that, no?
I don't think we ever voted on it. We
You
couldn't
had a-
find anything in the...
No, I thought we did.
We talked about it with our calendar, and I
Yeah.
talked about it explaining, but we thought, again, it would be good to have it
Yes.
on.
Yeah,
thought we
many
voted on
angry
it.
6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Yeah. I didn't get any calls from parents, so I guess that was good.
That was right after their teacher.
Oh, that's right.
The Monday after
Okay.
they were on the weekend.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Number 2, it is recommended that the Western Reserve School District agree to the no-cost extension of Ohio's Race to the Top state scope of work, which will permit the use of any unspent year 4 funds to carry over into the 2014 school year.
That was a 4-year project, and this right now is ending our 4th year with that. And they actually extended it so that if there was any money that was unspent, you could, rather than just spending it to spend it, we could go 1 more year. We're going to work on the information management system that they are putting out, because it's not been perfected yet, so we're looking to focus. We have to focus on one of our goals, which is that's what our goal will be. And Chris Shader will be getting some of the paperwork in for that, and that'll give us 1 more year to spend the remaining money that we have.
Good.
And it's pretty much just an extra year.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes?
Yes. I guess I'll turn it over to Mr. Zatchak.
Okay, our principals, Debbie's at Camp Hiram, and they left yesterday, and I guess got a call this morning, one of the kids has chickenpox.
Oh, no.
So they were scrambling to look for immunization records of who had chickenpox vaccination, and apparently it's okay. I think probably the time when you're more contagious is before you actually get the chickenpox. So it's not like he's spraying chickenpox, but his father came and got him, I think, this morning or yesterday. So anyway, she's there. We've had Special Persons Week all week, so PTO's not here tonight because they've been here all day doing special persons, and they do it over in the Reserve Building. And I think it works out well. I know there's some concerns from some parents. They wanted to be in this building, but there's a lot going on in this building, and it makes it work pretty well. They get pizza and they have it over in the old kitchen over there, and they're able to serve and
They decorate it with a tablecloth and flowers.
yeah. So it's nice, and I'll tell you, the ladies with PTO really, they do a great job. I mean, they're very conscientious. They're sweeping up the gym after the meals each day, and they really do a good job with it. So very much appreciate what they do. And being good sales potential people, they do the book fair at the same time. So all the little kids take Grandma and Grandpa down to the book fair and buy me a book. So it works out well that way too. Mr. McGlynn is coaching his grandson's baseball team, and he had a game tonight, but I do have kind of a summary of the drug testing for this year as far as where we are as of now. And you can see there that we tested a total of 141 students that had initial testing. We only have about 220 here in the high school. So, well over half of the kids, almost 2/3 of the kids that are here were tested because of their involvement in extracurriculars.
And driving, do we continue that with the driving?
Yeah. And, the August test, you can see there's 107 new student athletes. That would have been the fall sports. That would have, I'm not sure that one included driving, but the November one, the carryover is what we talked about, is there's going to be that initial large amount. I know we kind of targeted and estimated a cost of around $3,000 at $15 per test. A total of 201 tests was almost right on that. So
And only 2. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and they
I'm
both
pretty
went
proud of
for-
our kids.
Yeah.
And when they did repeat, they were negative then, or?
Yes,
Okay.
they were included in every random after that.
Perfect. Okay, see, so maybe we saw this.
I think it's some pretty good indication, and if you've noticed in the news and the paper, more schools are doing it, and a lot of those contacted me as far as let's see your policy, and kind of went off of ours a little bit, and I told them, well, we didn't invent it, we took it from Wellsville and Lisbon and Lowellville and used some of that. So I think it went really well. There was that Great Lakes, they just do a phenomenal job. They come in and it's very non-invasive as far as in the school. It's not a disruption. It's just goes real quick. So
Now, how about the parents? Initially they were.
Yeah, but I knew once that initial.
Well, I think, when you look at it,
Well, we're trying to do something good.
realistically, it's just one more
thing.
thing. As a parent, you meet your kid at the door when they come home from somewhere. well, here's just one more thing to keep them from.
Are parents privy to this information?
No, that's something we could probably put in the roundup if you think that would be.
I don't know, I just think, well, okay.
I think I would, simply because that we did actually do it, and this was the outcome, and we should be very proud
Yeah,
of
I
our
think
kids, and the
it's-
two, the ones that went through the program. I mean, we could have saved their lives.
Yeah,
I'm proud of this.
yeah.
Well, I think the community, if they see something like this, then they know that it was done, and it was done
It's not a
right.
bad
Do you
idea.
think putting it out there, then we'll let the kids
These
know
are the
there were
results.
positive tests? Will they then
Exactly.
be trying to figure out who the positive ones were?
Well, that's
you know?
what, but we don't have to put that necessarily.
Yeah, maybe,
Just
yeah,
put the, total of,
To make it more
tested.
discreet.
Yeah, I think we ought to leave that if the student
Yeah.
tests positive. That's all that's going to do is raise
Exactly,
questions.
because then everybody will be like, which
Yeah, I think
You know,
we did right now, but
They
Probably already do now.
They might, but still.
I have some other things for you. I'm not sure if you got this, every year we do that academic banquet honoring the seniors with a 3.5 GPA, and if you could attend, that would be great. There's a form at the bottom, if you would, that's on May 20th at a la carte.
what day is that on?
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
When is
So, if you're interested, that's always a nice night. Got too many papers here. As far as our electrical issues, this has taken a little bit longer than I had hoped, and I'm not sure still how close we might be on this, but if you remember back probably in October, November, we had a recommendation we were having some issues with our voltage and changing in voltage, and we had a proposal from Osasky Jaminet, and that's included in this packet given to you in October, approximately $45,000 to $50,000 of work to put circuit breakers and contactors and some things like that. And we discussed this at our October meeting, and it was suggested that maybe we get kind of a second opinion. So we contacted this Chris Firestone, and without going through his whole, he did a very thorough research and problem solving. They did. He had metering put on our incoming lines. He had Ohio Edison come and put metering on their lines that came, to our transformer and to our grid. Did infrared testing to see if we were losing any energy on some of our panels. His recommendations are in here. It's a lot of pretty technical stuff if you're not an electrician. His initial proposal was sent to Tri-Area, who did our electric work here for the new building. Initially, it was about $165,000 from the $50,000 or so that came from Osasky Jaminet. Almost as soon as this first proposal from Tri-Area came, Chris Firestone sent to them and said, check this company for a price, and you can see your last page got it down to about $120,000 just on a difference in price from the different manufacturers.
But Jeff, why is it still not under warranty? Like, why can't it be resolved? It's never been right.
Well, it's partly because we're getting changes in voltage that comes into this building. And what that's doing is that either causes, it's not enough voltage to keep things running. If we have a power outage or a brownout, blackout, a blip, the lights blink, some of these are so modern, high-tech pieces of equipment on some of the blowers, some of the condensers, cooling units, air handlers, that they want to try to start back up. And there's not enough voltage for them to start back up, so something burns up in that. It might be a motor, it might be a contactor, some electrical component burns up, and we don't have any protection. And what this is it's protection that will keep those things from trying to kick on until we have the full power to manually
So the
do
protection
this.
shouldn't have been built into the initial project? I mean,
Well, there was some,
Okay.
but it's not on all of the panels. There was some on some of the main components. Keep in mind that this is, and we're still, this leads to other issues, but this is still part of the project. So when we talk about 110,000, we're around 50%, 48% of that. But that's still money that's still there from the construction project. So I'm trying to get from Hammond Construction and from the school facilities to let's get together and get going on this.
It needs to be done. It needs to be done.
My initial thought was let's do it over Christmas break.
Right.
Then it was spring break. Well, here we are. So we're hopefully getting it ready to go at this point because it's going to involve some shutdown of power. It's going to be after school's out, but I want to get going on it. So once we get get firm on that, and then what I'd like to do is meet with this Chris Firestone, Bill Sherman from Hammond Construction, who was the manager.
Do you think Hammond Construction might contribute some money to help?
Well, that's part of the.
Is that what you're trying to do? You're negotiating?
That's part of the facilities project.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the project. It's no different than what we paid the painter to paint the walls.
That's what I would think. Yeah. Okay.
So we're looking at about 48% of that cost, what it ends up being. When you talk about a burned up motor costing $700 or so, and then the time for somebody to come in and fix it, repair it, and that kind of thing. Long-term protection is what we're looking for. So, but I want to make sure that it is going to protect and not just be something that, but it really won't do any good for this or that. So that's where we are on that. I had talked to Dave Harris. He brought a civil engineer out. We looked at the track. This is our 16th year on this track. Typically about 15 years is the life. It was recommended that we strip it down to the asphalt, do some repairs where the asphalt is lifted or some low spots in that, and then resurface that. Problem is right now with some of these electrical issues, we don't have the money to do that. I told you last meeting, I think I've looked at some alternate sources of revenue. Haven't heard anything back on that. But to be honest, it's getting late to start to schedule somebody to come in and do that because basically the people that do tracks work from the end of track season to the start of football season. And so I don't know if we're going to get that done this summer. If something happens real quick, we'll see. When the civil engineer was here and he's done some different tracks and he really knew what he's talking about when we talked and walked the track, he said it's really not in that bad a shape. So it's not the end of the world, and like we talked earlier today, it's not like we're looking to just resurface what's there and then we use it another year and they say, well, gee, now you're down to bare. It's going to be stripped off anyway. Worst case scenarios is it's going to have to be put off a year until next year, but we'll see if we find out anything soon. It's not like we have a dangerous situation that is unsafe. So that's where we're at. We certainly aren't going to.
It's important, but not urgent.
Right, and it's not worth spending money we don't have.
Right.
So item number 4, I don't know. I guess I gave you guys. Did I give you? Or is this just mine I'm working off? Anyway, you might see some commercials on the TV from the Mahoney County Educational Service Center. All 13 schools, I think, in the county. They did a quick 30-second commercial. It's got our logo on there, and it just shows some quick things, and it just says Mahoney County Schools, excellent. It cost us about $50 to do that as part of the county, and they're going to run it 151 times between now and September 30th.
I did see, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but some schools are advertising and
was advertising.
Yeah, and so it was kind of like let's do something here, and everybody was together on it, and just a quick thing. So if you see that, or if somebody says, oh, we got money to advertise, well, it costs us about $55.
I'll just tell them I paid for it.
Yeah.
Donation.
They would assume you did.
It was a house donation.
In kind, yes.
I'd like to just let you know this, and we really are struggling with bus drivers and substitute bus drivers. Rich Kirkpatrick, some of you may remember him. His kids went to school here.
Used to teach at the Career Center.
Taught at the Career Center. He has grandkids now in the school and said, I'd like to help out if I can. He's been doing everything. He's real close, maybe as soon as next week, to getting it done. What I would like to do, and we did this early in the year, that in certain situations I have the right to okay the hiring of somebody as a sub. We would not take action on that until the June meeting. And I already told him, just because of a need. We had we have a softball game tonight that the parents had to drive to. If you hear any
Jeff, why can't
concerns,
we get bus drivers? Is it the pay?
You know what?
Do we need to what do we need to
What
do
does
to
a
fix
sub
it?
bus driver make?
We need to fix it.
Ohio is the most closely regulated state for bus drivers in the country. And the qualifications and the restrictions to get that
Well, and for
is
a
among...
substitute, it's got to be somebody who really kind of is okay to work, but is just sitting around and waiting, though.
Well,
because
but just to
they're gonna
be
random
able to
work.
drive, you have to have a CDL. You have to have the passenger endorsement for driving school bus, not just a CDL to drive a limo, but for a school bus.
So we're talking to
There's
substitute, though. We're not looking for somebody
Doesn't
full-time.
matter. To drive a bus.
Either one.
You have to go to 5 days of classes. You have to do 12 hours of onboard instruction.
But we're asking somebody to do this and then possibly not even need them.
Right.
Like if nobody's sick.
Yeah.
It's like do this and
It's
just sit in case we do.
countywide, it's statewide. When I call to get some information, because I'm not real up on all of these things, and I call West Branch and say, I got a guy who's doing this for subbing, he wants to do this and that. She goes, man, if you got somebody like that, keep him. He's retired, he's at home, and
So is pay the same across the board?
For subs, drivers, meaning the county, relatively. We're probably a little bit lower than others, but it's...
Because it's paid something that is turning them away. I mean, if that's the case, then
We have 3 sub drivers right now. That's all we have.
But look at our buses compared to some of those guys that make more. I mean, our buses are half empty.
Wage gets kicked up to 10
Commerce.
cents.
Yeah.
And
They're not. It's not huge routes. I mean,
Right.
our routes are
Right.
short. And,
Yeah. And it is. It's we have basically one driver who is a retired bus driver. We have one that really doesn't like to drop the kids off and he'll take trips, but he doesn't like to do the routes just because, you miss a kid, you got an irate parent. It's not worth that attitude that you get sometimes.
Right.
And the third guy is he's got other things that he does and he's not always available. So,
Understandable.
and anyway, Rich is he's a good guy. Like I said, retired teacher, and lives in the community, has grandchildren. He's trying to help out. So just letting you know that if he gets it done, I might say,
Absolutely.
I got a trip for you tomorrow.
If you need them, you need them.
Yeah, I mean, that's your call.
Your call.
You want to drive
Retire and drive bus. Last thing I have for you here, and then we need to go into executive session for a couple of items. I thought this was kind of interesting. There's all this talk about charter schools and the big debate over public money going to these private schools and charter schools. The superintendent of ECOT, which is one that's very well known, contributed $266,000 to House and Senate Republicans during the first 16 months of this election cycle. I wish I could do that, but I don't have $266,000.
You get our track resurfaced.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
But
some.
when you wonder why they're putting money into these charter schools and why they're letting these people open these up and they rent a 20 by 20 square foot place of conducting their classroom and have a teacher sit at a computer and the kids are it is for profit. But I thought that was kind of interesting, and when people say, well, what's the big deal with these charter schools? Well, there's a lot of money going to
No
them
accountability.
and very low overhead. There's not a charter school that has a building like this to house 800 kids. They do it all online, buy them a computer for $300, and there you go. So thought that was kind of interesting. And like I said, we need to go into the executive session for a couple of items.
Can we stay here?
Stay up.
Mr. Media Man can't stay here.
Okay.
Or not.
Motion to go to executive.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Everybody says yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
How about you, Brickhouse?
Is your